good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel, where we talk all things box. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put that bell on all so you can get notified straight away whenever we drop new content on the channel. So let's get into this one. So it's all officially announced now. We're going to have July 24th. Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder versus Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. The rematch that has been talked about several times, this rubber match since the last fight. It is an interesting story on all accounts. The first fight was a draw. Tyson Fury boxed very well. Many felt he won the fight. Deontay Wilder showed his power, 2 knockdowns, concussive punches. Many felt Fury wasn't going to get up in the 12th round of the first fight. He does, gets up in that miraculous Undertaker style. Second fight, Tyson Fury gives Deontay Wilder a terrible beating. There's a lot of controversy behind that. Many people claiming he put egg weights in his gloves, sharp objects, all this stuff was going on. Many conspiracies were coming out. And it was interesting because after that second fight, there was a long period of silence from Deontay Wilder, and mainly we were hearing from sort of his fans and, YouTube channels who support him. And many of these people were making these claims on behalf of Wilder that Tyson Fury cheated, he was on drugs, he had this in his gloves, he had that in his gloves. Nothing really was ever proven on that front. Tyson Fury was never sort of found to have anything in his gloves, not by any court or anything like that. But there was a rematch clause. The one thing that there was a rematch clause. We were led by Bob Arum, obviously quite falsely, to believe that this mediation arbitration was just about money and a payout at the very worst is what we would have, and Tyson Fury was free to fight anybody else that he wanted to. We've since come to find out right now that just as we're on the cusp of, or we were on the cusp of sorting out the undisputed between Fury and Joshua, we've all of a sudden now it all pops up that, oh no, that arbitration was actually still ongoing. They could have terminated it a while ago in January or whatever, but they decided not to. And it was just a case of Bob Arum and some in Team Fury feeling very confident they're going to win it. Now they've ended up not winning it, and here we are in this third fight. So this is a fight where there's a lot of interesting stuff being said here. I think if we go by the last performances of both guys, it was against each other. Fury won every second of that fight pretty much. He won every round. In the last fight, Wilder couldn't really get anything off. He couldn't get any punches off against Tyson Fury. And I've watched a recent interview by Deontay Wilder, and he was interviewed, I think it must have been by someone in Showtime, I think it was. This guy that does the ring announcement. I think this guy is going to do the announcements for this week. He's going to do for Cambosos and what do you call it, and Teofimo Lopez. So yeah, this is one of these announcers, I think, for one of these companies. And so he was interviewing Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder was saying, yep, he's been cheated by Tyson Fury. What Tyson Fury did is wrong. And now he's got Malik Scott in his team, and saying that he's basically exclaiming that now I'm ready for Fury. Fury done this and he done that to me. He knows what he done was wrong. Now he's gonna have to face me again. I'm gonna win. Boom, boom, boom. And it was going on. He was going on quite a long tirade of things as he does. He was kind of getting a bit poetic with what he was saying. But Deontay Wilder sort of seems very confident. He seems back in that sort of mindset that he was before the I want to say the second Fury fight, because he was saying a lot of the same things. Those guys need to be perfect for 36 minutes. I need to be perfect for 2 seconds, and that's it. So he seems to be thinking, yeah, his power's going to get him out of it. He's got the power that as soon as he touches you, you're going to fall over. And he seems very full of himself, very confident. as I said, he's got Malik Scott in the team, and Malik Scott is definitely coming off as a sort of yes man. He's a former Deontay Wilder opponent, and Wilder was saying they've known each other even before they fought. And you listen to Malik Scott, and he's talking. He really is gassing up Deontay Wilder. He was even saying, "Oh, Deontay," he said in this tweet, I think it was, Deontay Wilder is 10 times as skilled as Muhammad Ali. And I mean, comments like that are just absolutely ludicrous. I mean, it's one thing to believe in your man, and of course he's got to believe in Deontay Wilder. He's got to be confident in him. He's got to be confident that he can beat Tyson Fury. But statements like that are just absolutely ludicrous. I mean, he's nowhere near as good as Muhammad Ali. I don't think any of these guys today are even close to Muhammad Ali. They've not even, even a guy who I would say, right, he's fought sort of his resume, although he's had losses like an Anthony Joshua, he's fought a lot of, champions and he's got quite a thick resume, but even someone like him, you just can't compare these guys to the skills and the era, the golden days back in the 60s and 70s with the Listons, Floyd Patterson, George Foreman, Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali, Ernie Shaver, all these guys out that there were back then. There is just no comparison. Deontay Wilder, you can never compare to these guys because, for one thing, he doesn't have the skill set. He's nowhere near as skilled as any of those heavyweights back then, and he's not even the most skilled today out of these guys, out of Fury, Joshua, and himself. He's not the most skilled at all. He's quite decent. He's got some fundamentals, but his balance is off sometimes, and he does a lot of basic things wrong, does Deontay Wilder. So comments like that are just stupid, really. I mean, yeah, Ali was absolutely skilled, sublimely skilled, and someone like Wilder don't come close. You could probably say punching power wise, yeah, his punching power probably would stand him in good stead in any era. He can definitely punch with destructive power, but I mean, skills wise, no way, absolutely no way. So that was ludicrous, but that's one thing that in a sense might count against Wilder going into this fight, having because you want a trainer that, yes, believes in you, but you don't want just a guy that's a yes man. And for me, that's what Malik Scott appears to be. I like the moves that they're doing, the hooks, and he's getting Wilder to box a little bit on the pads, practice his straight shots, but it's just the things he comes out with. You can tell he's a yes man. He's just riding a coattails. Wilder can do no wrong, blah, blah, blah. Kind of like the other guy, JD's, who, interestingly, in the interview I watched, Deontay Wilder said, actually, he's not got rid of JD's. He's actually retained him. And JD's, he was coming off a bit like a yes man as well. And it seemed that Mark Breland was the only one. He's quiet, but he was the only sort of one to sort of speak his mind a little bit to and I think with Deontay Wilder, yeah, he's got a big ego, but he does need someone to sort of rein him in and someone to speak the truth to him. But Malik Scott seems to not be that guy, really. So as far as how this fight goes, I personally think I would say I favor Tyson Fury still, based on the last performance, because Tyson Fury, I think, just based on what I've seen of him, I've seen him go forwards and be successful against Wilder, seen him go backwards and be successful and be elusive against Wilder. Wilder found it quite difficult both times, and I think when he pushed Wilder back, Wilder found that even more difficult than the movement. So I think Fury's just got too much to his game for Deontay Wilder. So I favor Fury, but I would say that Deontay Wilder, I'm not gonna write Deontay Wilder off completely. I think Deontay Wilder does have a chance, and I would base that on complacency on the part of Tyson Fury, because I think as good as Fury is, if he could, we never know. He might take his eye off the ball here, and he might he might switch off, or he might take Deontay Wilder lightly because he had such a dominant performance, because he gave him such a beating the last time. He could walk into this fight thinking, well, it's all done. I don't need, he could neglect certain things in training or whatever, or, his mindset might not be as sort of up for the fight as it was the second time, because the second time there was this question mark over, oh, he's been down, he was down and he was nearly out, and there was a claim of a long count and whatnot. So he's going into that second fight as an underdog, as a guy that, people saw what happened last time and they believe Deontay Wilder just need to hit him again with that right hand and it could all be over. But in this fight, with the beating he gave Deontay Wilder, there is that danger that mentally he might switch off, and mentally he might just take Deontay Wilder lightly. And there is and of course Deontay Wilder does have that fight-ending punch power. So I think Deontay Wilder definitely has a chance here, because I think Tyson Fury thrives and likes, he thrives off being the underdog, and he likes being the underdog. And in this fight, he would be the overwhelming favorite. So there could be a danger of complacency there. But for me, I still have to favor Tyson Fury based on the facts, based on, his versatility in the ring. He can come forward, he can go backwards. And he's definitely won the last fight by destroying Wilder. And even the first fight, he still more or less won that. He still came very, very close to winning that. It was outboxing Wilder. So yeah, he based on his performances, I kind of have to favour Fury. With Wilder, it would have to be based on potential, what he could potentially do. But on Fury, you've got the facts. We've got the last two fights to look at, and for me, you've got to go by that. So let me know who you favour in this fight. Do you think Tyson Fury wins again, another knockout? Do you think he wins on points, or perhaps you think Wilder might be able to cause the upset? But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And until next time, this is MKO Pugilism, over and out. I'll catch you on the next one.